Hey guys, SIMPSON here at SIMPSON VLOGS, and we're bringing you another short vlog. It's off the back of last week's PC help. Since we're on the topic of PCs and technology in general, I just wanted to talk about a crazy story coming out of the United States. I know, which one do you choose from? So, if you haven't seen the title somehow yet, prepare yourselves, because this is a bit crazy. So sit back, grab a snack, grab a drink, kick your feet up. Most importantly, have fun here on the channel. Check out links down below. We've got my main channel, SIMPSON Plays, and of course we've got Rizzle, TikTok, Instagram and Twitter for your lovely faces to enjoy. Along with that comes a donation link you can, willing and able to donate. But most importantly, have fun. If you can after this story. For anyone who was thinking about moving to the great state of California, or Oregon, or Hawaii, if you're a gamer, a PC gamer, you might want to rethink that. Yeah, they're kind of banning gaming from PCs over there. To the point where Intel, the guys who make our processors, besides AMD, besides AMD, the ones who make our chips, brains of our PCs, have put out charts and full documentation of trying to make it as simple as it can for the common consumer to understand just what the hell is going on. Now, when this story broke a couple of weeks ago now, obviously there's a lot of fanfare around, there's a lot of anger, outrage, shock. I'm just going to try and break it down for you. So, for those of you who don't know, you got the West Coast let me explain it to the Britons rather than the Americans. It's more the progressive and culturally correct side of the United States. If you were to break the United States down into 3 sections, very derogatively, I understand, this may offend some people, but East Coast, the money makers. They don't care about anything but business. In the center, agriculture, hillbillies, people who they're not progressive, okay? They haven't caught up with the coastal areas, okay? In terms of their thoughts, their views, and their tech on what they're using. West Coast, super advanced with their tech, great with business, progressive, culturally correct. They try to look after nature and other human beings. But they're hippies. That's the way you would break it down in a simple way of the United States. Apologies to anyone who's offended by that. That's the simplest way I can break it down to you. Now, the West Coast includes, California is the most famous state that you'd think of. You don't really know any others. But you got Oregon, you got Washington State, and you got Hawaii. So, yes, Washington DC is the city, the capital. Washington State is a state. Just for those of you who do not know. Moving swiftly on from that. That West Coast area has, I say West Coast area. There is an alliance between the states, those states that I just named. Basically, any legislation passed in California just migrates outwards to those states. Now, in 2016, most people didn't realize, know, or care to know that the governing body in California, I can't remember its name, I'm sorry, you've got so many 3-letter agencies in the United States, it's so hard, it's like, what? What is this? What does that mean? But they have an agency that controls climate aware stuff, basically, I'd say. Laws, passes laws or acts that are meant to help the climate and the environment. Stuff like that. Stuff like not wasting water, not burning trees down, stuff like that. And in this case, not using too much electricity, thereby using fossil fuels, thereby creating emissions, thereby burning up the climate. So they have a commission basically that does this. And they decided in 2016 that there was going to be a series of power-related acts. Stuff regulating how much energy a mobile phone can use, how much energy a laptop or a computer can use, But mainly, it wasn't just on. This is where people. So when it broke, the headlines were computers banned or use too much power. Let me kind of explain what was actually passed. So in 2016, like I said, they passed a legislation that was meant to mitigate how much power a device like a laptop, a PC, even monitors and TVs and mobile phones use whilst they're sleeping. So for those of you not aware, this iPhone of mine, even though you can't see its screen, oh, it went on. Nice little wolf picture there. Even though you can't see its screen right now, it's black. It's actually on. It's in sleep. Standby mode. As soon as I move it or press the button, it will come straight on instantly. And what we call that is fast sleep. In computers, in PCs, since we're talking about PCs, it's a state the PC is in where it's using less power, but it's still on so that you can, hit a keyboard, press a mouse, boot it up really quickly, and you're going again. Then there's deep sleep, where it doesn't boot up that quick, but it's gonna come on quicker. Then there's obviously off, when there's no power into it, it is dead. It might be plugged in, but it's dead. If I hold down my button, not that, hold down both buttons on the iPhone nowadays, and if I swipe that, it's off. Okay, it's not in sleep, it's dead. So this legislation was tackling the sleep modes. So if you've got sleep, deep sleep, assisted sleep, all them, whatever you want to call it, standby, all them modes, that's what this was aimed at. It was about how much power these devices are using when they're in those modes. Because why are they using that much power? They're not needed to be on because they're asleep. They don't need to use that much power, so they wanted to regulate how much power they're using. So they made the change in 2016, and it's what was called I can't remember what the term was used. Kind of like a gonna happen thing. So it's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna happen in now, and it hits now in June. I think it hit in June, and didn't come into effect until nowish, 2 weeks ago. And then there's something further that's going to happen in December. But right now is what people are pissed about, because when you go onto the Dell site and you try and order an Alienware, the one of the higher end Alienware laptops, and definitely the Alienware Aurora R12 and R11, they cannot ship that to the state of California, Oregon, Washington or Hawaii. They're not shipping to that state because it is illegal. Because those machines use too much power when they're asleep to be now legal in those states when they've passed these acts. So if you want to go one, you have to drive out of state, put your map there and wait there in the sun until you can get in and go across the border. Because it's not illegal to own. That's the key. Another thing that's key here. It's not illegal to own one of these. It's illegal to sell it into that state. So I'm pretty sure this applies to anyone. If you try to sell now one of these, even as like you want to sell it on to maybe get money to buy something else, you couldn't. I don't think you can sell it. No, it doesn't just apply to companies. It applies to people. So yeah, I just wanted to fan the flames down, not fan them up. Douse them with a little water, not gasoline, on this story. So yes, you may not be able to get certain products, but the legislation is good for the environment and it has leeway. They have, if you go on the Intel site and try and find this and type this in, I would show the page, but I'm not good at YouTube yet. No, I don't know where it is. More like since it's in the US, it's difficult for me in the UK to try and find something like this. I have to specifically go onto the US site and do all this typing and blah. So I'm just going to explain to you. They have a system, a calculation that explains what power allowance you have. For example, if you bought the standard R12, I think, now don't quote me on this, I think you can get it. And there is an allowance. So for example, if you have, say, an i7 11th generation and you have an RTX 360, okay? Now, the power usage for the power allowance for that sort of machine is different to the power allowance for a machine that's running, say, an i9 11th series RTX 390. Okay, It's not the same. It's not like a blanket. It's not like a block benchmark. It's not like, okay, you're going to use 1,000 kilowattage per hour whilst in sleep mode on all device. No, okay? It's different depending on what you've got. So that's the good thing again. Like I said, remember, I said the West Coast, they're tech savvy, okay? They're not stupid. I'm not saying anyone else is stupid, but I'm going to say the folks in Washington, D.C., if this was a legislation they passed, you guys in the East Coast better move over to the West because you guys would be screwed, probably. They don't know nothing about tech. If you've not seen Congress lately, they don't know nothing about tech. They would set just a benchmark, and you ain't go. If it's over, you ain't having it. Okay, that's what it would be. But for California, they've got a movable benchmark, which is calculated on a semi-complicated, well-explained algorithm, if for better lack of word. And yeah, they would. Oh, just want to check my recording was recording. A bit blind nowadays. I thought I was just talking to myself. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? I do that all the time anyway. So yeah, it's not that big a deal. It's going to affect certain stuff, and it's going to affect perhaps what they can and can't do. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing, in my opinion. Call me a little bit of a progressive hippie, like our fellow Californians. But you know, we've been. How long can we burn fossil fuels before we run out of oxygen? For a lot of things, you know. Like, have you not seen California lately? Just and America in general. For those of you in Louisiana, I know this is probably coming out a bit late, but I do hope you are safe. I hope that if you have not evacuated or did not evacuate, so I say by the time this video comes out that you did, and for those of you in California that are safe as well from wildfires. So you got hurricanes, wildfires. I mean, America every year is getting hit with more and more natural disasters, which you cannot deny that they are a cause of climate change. When the climate changes, chaos kind of happens in order to try and balance itself out. You know, you get floods, you get hurricanes, typhoons, tsunamis, forest fires. You know, it's what happens, and California's been hit with forest fire after forest fire after forest fire every year for the last 5 years. For as long as I could. The last time I went to America was in 2016, and I remember driving from Vegas to California, and on either side of the highway or freeway, motorway. I'm gonna call it motorway because I'm British. Motorway. Both hills were black from the flames. When we looked on Google Maps when going that way, we thought we wouldn't be able to go because on the map was a fire symbol on the highway, motorway. And yeah, so yeah, I guess this is a good thing. They're trying to do something. And it might stunt the progress of certain tech companies, but you know, if you can't think big without detriment, then don't think. Think again. Okay? That made no sense, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that is the little infographic for you guys sitting there at home. So I hope you enjoyed the lovely faces off with that one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit the bell notification to keep up to date with everything going on this channel. If you want to check out things going on Simpson Plays, then get down in that description, because there is a cool video coming up very soon. A new series is starting on Simpson Plays, and pretty sure to stick around on here because next week. No, this Sunday, in fact, there's going to be an unboxing for you guys to enjoy, especially you PCs. So, like and subscribe down below. And if you didn't enjoy, run it back and sit back, grab a drink, and watch again. Until the next time, make sure to see Twitter, Instagram, Rizzle, and Twitter all linked down in the description below for your lovely faces. I'm going to leave now and stop talking. Peace.